Kundagiri Govardhan ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Mayapur Dham ki jai, Jamuna Maya ki jai, Ganga Maya ki jai, Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai, Priyat Mridanga Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai, Transcendental Krishna Prasadam Distribution ki jai, Go Premanandi, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. Shri Radha Kalachan ji ki jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी। यशोदान यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव श्री राधे। जय राधा कालाचंजी राधा कालाचंजी श्री राधे। जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद। जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद। जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय श्रीला गुरुदेव। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We can chant this together. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Sopadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedant Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gatadhara Shiva Asadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are continuing Canto 5, Chapter 10, and today we'll continue from verse 15 through 25. Text 15, yes. Okay, we can quickly read the translations, please.
Sukadev Goswami said, or continued, O best of the Pandu dynasty, Maharaj Pariksit, the king of the Sindhu and Surivira states, Maharaj Rahugana had great faith in discussions of the absolute truth. Being thus qualified, he heard from Jad Bharat that philosophical presentation which is approved by all scriptures on the mystic yoga process and which slackens the knot in the heart. This material conception of himself as a king was thus destroyed. He immediately descended from his palanquin and fell flat on the ground with his head at the lotus feet of Jad Bharat in such a way that he might be excused for his insulting words against the great Brahmana. He then prayed as follows.
King Rahugana said, O Brahmana, you appear to be moving in this world very much covered and unknown to others. Who are you? Are you a learned Brahmana and saintly person? I see that you are wearing a sacred thread. Are you one of those exalted, liberated saints such as Dattatreya and other highly advanced learned scholars? May I ask whose disciple you are? Where do you live? Why have you come to this place? Is your mission in coming here to do good for us? Please let me know who you are.
My dear sir, I am not at all afraid of the thunderbolt of King Indra. Nor am I afraid of the serpentine piercing trident of Lord Shiva. I do not care about the punishment of Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, nor am I afraid of fire, scorching sun, moon, wind, nor the weapons of Kuvera. Yet I'm afraid of offending a Brahmana. I'm very much afraid of this.
This last line, he says he's not afraid of thunderbolt of King Indra and not afraid of so many things, even the Trishul of Lord Shiva. But I am afraid of offending a Brahmana. I am very much afraid of this. Somebody, I think Radhanath Swami Maharaj mentioned this in his lecture, that somehow we have stopped being afraid of Maya. Like devotees, after coming to devotional service, practicing bhakti for a long time, because Bhagavad Gita says we are under protection of Krishna, we are under shelter of Krishna, but we become a little more thick-skinned to Maya, in the sense we think that Maya cannot affect us now because we are under the protection. Of course, it's true that if Krishna is with you, Maya is very far. But even Srila Prabhupada said that in his statement, he said, if I fall down, and the devotee said, Prabhupada, how can you fall down? You can never fall down. He said, yes, I can never fall down because I pray. Because, I am surrendered to Krishna. And that is something Prabhupada also said, that it comes with a with your inert surrenderance to Krishna, and that you're following all the rules. So yeah, we can continue.
My dear sir, it appears that the influence of your great spiritual knowledge is hidden. Factually, you are bereft of all material association and fully absorbed in the thought of the Supreme. Consequently, you are unlimitedly advanced in spiritual knowledge. Please tell me why you are wandering around like a dullard. O great saintly person, you have spoken words approved by the yogic process, but it is not possible for us to understand what you have said. Therefore, kindly explain it.
I consider your good self the most exalted master of mystic power. You know the spiritual science perfectly well. You are the most exalted of all learned sages, and you have descended for the benefit of all human society. You have come to give spiritual knowledge, and you are a direct representative of Kapila Dev, the incarnation of God in the plenary portion of knowledge. I am therefore asking you, O spiritual master, what is the most secure shelter in this world?
Is it not a fact that your good self is a direct representative of Kapila Dev, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God? To examine people and see who is actually a human being and who is not, you have presented yourself to be deaf and a dumb person. Are you not moving this way upon the service of the world, surface of the world? I am very attached to family life and worldly activities. I am blind to spiritual knowledge. Nonetheless, I now present before you, and I am seeking enlightenment from you. How can I advance in spiritual life?
You have said, I am not fatigued from labor. Although the soul is different from the body, there is fatigue because of bodily labor, and it appears to be the fatigue of the soul. When you are carrying the palanquin, there is certainly labor for the soul. This is my conjecture. You have also said that the external behavior exhibited between the master and the servant is not factual, but although in the phenomenal world it is not factual, the products of the phenomenal world can actually affect things that is visible and experienced. As such, even though material activities are impermanent, they cannot be said to be untrue.
King Rahugana continued, My dear sir, you have said that designations like bodily fatness and thinness are not characteristics of the soul. That is incorrect, because designations like pain and pleasure are certainly felt by the soul. You may put a pot of milk and rice within fire, and the milk and rice are automatically heated one after the other. Similarly, due to bodily pains and pleasures, the senses, mind, and soul are affected. The soul cannot be completely detached from this conditioning.
My dear sir, you have said that the relationship between the king and the subject, or between the master and the servant, are not eternal. But although such relationships are temporary, when a person takes the position of a king, his duty is to rule the citizens and punish those who are disobedient to the laws. By punishing them, he teaches the citizens to obey the laws of the state. Again, you have said that punishing a person who is deaf and dumb is like chewing the chewed or grinding the pulp. That is to say, there is no benefit in it. However, if one is engaged in his own occupational duty, as ordered by the Supreme Lord, his sinful activities are certainly diminished. Therefore, if one is engaged in his occupational duty by force, he benefits because he can vanquish all his sinful activities in that way.
Whatever you have spoken appears to me to be contradictory, O best friend of the distressed. I have committed a great offense by insulting you. I was puffed up with false prestige due to possessing the body of a king. For this I have certainly become an offender. Therefore I pray that you kindly glance at me with your causeless mercy. If you do so, I can be relieved from sinful activities brought about by insulting you.
O my dear Lord, you are the friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the friend of all living entities. You are therefore equal to everyone, and you are free from the bodily conception. Although I have committed an offense by insulting you, I know that there is no loss or gain for you due to my insult. You are fixed in your determination, but I have committed an offense. Because of this, even though I may be as strong as Lord Shiva, I shall be vanquished without delay due to my offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava.
Thank you. So today we'll focus on verse 24. Let's recite that. Please repeat after me. Tanme bhavanar devabhimana Madena tuchikrita satamasya Krishishta maitri drishamarta bandho Yatha tare sad avadhyana mamha Tanme bhavanar devabhimana Madena tuchikrita satamasya Krishishta maitri drishamarta bandho Yatha tare sad avadhyana mamha. Would anybody like to recite? Tanme bhavanar devabhimana Adena tuchikrita satamasya Vishishta maitri drishamarta bandho Yatha tare sadavadhyana mamaha Tanme bhagavana devabhimana Madena tuchikrita satamasya Vishishta maitri dishamarta bandho Yatha tare sadavadhyana mamaha. Okay, thank you. Translation. Whatever you have spoken appears to me to be contradictory. O best friend of the distressed, I have committed a great offense by insulting you. I was puffed up with false prestige due to possessing the body of a king. For this, I have certainly become an offender. Therefore, I pray that you kindly glance at me with your causeless mercy. If you do so, I can be relieved from the sinful activities brought by insulting you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that by offending a Vaishnava, one finishes all his spiritual activities. Offending a Vaishnava is considered the mad elephant offense. A mad elephant can destroy an entire garden which has been developed with great labor. One may attain the topmost platform of devotional service, but somehow or other, if he offends a Vaishnava, the whole structure collapses. Unconsciously, King Rahugana offended Jad Bharat. But due to his good sense, he asked to be excused. This is the process by which one can be relieved from a Vaishnava aparad. Krishna is always very simple and by nature merciful. When one commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava, one must immediately apologize to such a personality so that his spiritual advancement may not be hampered. Jai. Vaishnava aparad. It is such a serious offense and such a dissatisfaction and displease that we can bring to the Lord. Radha means like pleasure. An aparad is when you're taking pleasure away from the Lord, because by these actions that you're committing towards the devotee, Krishna is not pleased. Krishna, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was the most merciful incarnation, right? In Kali Yuga. Still, one thing he did not excuse that easily was Vaishnava aparad. He did not excuse that. So it is said that even though Krishna is the most merciful personality, but if you offend his devotee, it is such a big offense. And these offenses can be done not just through our actions, but even in our mind. Whenever we make judgment towards the devotee, any personality, because we believe that everybody is a potential devotee, right? So any judgment we develop about a person, suddenly we have committed an offense at the lotus feet of Krishna. And in one day we commit so many offenses because most of them can be accidental and unknowingly. Even if you're walking, like Jad Bharat was so careful that he was not trying to step on an ant. That is the heart of a devotee. And maybe we are not that conscious all the time because, we cannot be that conscious all the time. We are committing offenses. Forget that level. I think even at the conscious level, we are committing many offenses. I really read something very interesting and I wanted to share that today. There are 12 types of aparad mentioned by Ramanujacharya. The first is Janma Nirupan. When we offend somebody on the basis of their birth, somebody born in a high class family or somebody has a lower birth, we do make that. I think we should just compliment, we should just reflect and think right now that whenever we see somebody who is probably a new person, a new devotee, or somebody who has been practicing devotional service for years and years, we do have thoughts coming to our mind. We do have some kind of judgments that are created based on their body, based on their actions, based on their services also, in fact. Imagine somebody who's gotten a human form of life, who's also practicing service, still we are offending even to that level. So first is Janma Nirupan, where we classify, we make comparisons. Okay, he's born in a rich family, aristocratic family, and somebody is born in a lower birth. We don't treat them as nicely. We have some differences. We make some differences. Even if it's at the mental level, it's an aparad. Second is Sharira Nirupan, offending somebody based on their body. So here, an example was given by Prabhupada, right? Based on somebody's thinness or fatness. We have bodies of all kind around us, and when we make judgments based on bodies, that is also a big judgment. So here an example came like somebody who has not gotten a human form of body. Like if we think Hanuman, such a great devotee, he's a monkey. That is an aparad if we think like that. Or Garuda, who serves Krishna, who serves Vishnu, he's an eagle. I mean, if we think like that, okay, they are not human form of life. That is an aparad. Third is Bhava Nirupan, thinking that somebody is a small child, so we can treat them anyhow we like. A small child could be a great devotee, even better than who I am, better than even in maybe 10 or 100 lifetimes I could practice devotional service, but a child could be such a great devotee, but we think, okay, he's just a child, he's just a kid, and I can, just scold him anytime I want, or I can just treat them anyhow I like. Third is Ashram Nirupan, thinking that one kind of ashram is greater than the other kind, like grihastha ashram is not as great as sannyas ashram, if we think like that. That is a big aparadh. You know, seeing somebody and saying, okay, this person is brahmacharya, or he's a sannyasi, so he's greatest. But somebody who is a grihastha and we judge them. Okay, what is he doing? He's so attached in his family life. It's not our business to judge them. It's a big aparadh. Next is, the fifth one is avyaya nirupan, deformities. If they have any kind of deformities and we judge them, that's a big aparadh. I'm forgetting the name, but in Chaitanya Leela, somebody offended, I think Srinivas Acharya, and they got leprosy. They did a big aparadh towards the devotee, and Mahaprabhu was. Is it? Okay. So Mahaprabhu said, you will go to hell for what you have done. And Mahaprabhu is so merciful, but he's like, I will never accept if you offend my devotee. The next is alasya nirupan. I think this is something we see a lot happening, because judging someone based on their bodily conception, especially eating, sleeping, mating, defending. If we think that this guy sleeps a lot, I sleep only 5 hours, 4 hours, and come for Mangalarti, and I do so many services. You know, I sleep late, I do everything, and this guy sleeps for 8 hours. What is this devotional service? What is this bhakti he's practicing? Or this guy eats too much Mahaprasad. Or this guy eats, always comes first in line for Mahaprasad. That is an offense, because we do that. We think like that. We think like that because our attachment is still to the material body. We're still thinking on bodily platform. So this is alasya nirupan. Then the next is vasa nirupan, that only dham vasis are great. Thinking then people who don't live in dham are ordinary devotees, and people who live in dham are, we should pay obeisances to them, only they are first class devotees. That is an aparadh. I mean, of course, we should pay obeisances to them, but also all the devotees. The same level of respect should be there for each and every devotee. Bandhu nirupan. So as family members, we might think that, we might forget that we are dealing with devotees, and we might treat them casually. We might say things to them as husband, wife, parents, children. We might say a lot of things to our family members. That also is aparadh. It's not that once you're family, so Krishna is like, okay, this happens, I will excuse this aparadh. No, we should be really careful about this bandhu aparadh, bandhu nirupan. Then the next is prakash nirupan, only respecting acharyas. If we have some great acharya sitting on Vyasasana, or we see them around, so we are only respecting them, and others we are not showing our best behavior or best respect. The next is prakar nirupan, only respecting intimately connected to gurus and great souls. So people who are just, closely connected to your guru or great Mahatmas, souls, we're only respecting them. Others, we think, they're just ordinary devotees, so we might just treat them anyhow we like. And the next is Vartan Nirupan. This where we think that this occupation is lower than the other occupation, judging somebody based on their occupation. Dosh Nirupan, this is the last, 12th. Historically judging personalities from scriptures. Like, why did Pandavas marry one wife? That is a Dosh Nirupan. Why did somebody have so many wives? If we pick up any personality from Bhagavatam, that is also Dosh Nirupan, because we are thinking from material perspective still. I mean, somebody was saying, I think Gaurang Prabhu was saying that, don't you have enough problems in your life that you're picking up personalities from Bhagavatam and judging them? Because you feel you're not, you have just one wife, so you're complaining somebody has like multiple wives. Because we're still thinking from our lustful, material, bodily conception. Yes, Gaurang Prabhu said that don't you have enough problems in your lives that you're picking up personalities from Srimad Bhagavatam and judging them? Because we do understand when we read Mahabharata or we hear Mahabharata, there are a lot of questions that come to our mind that how can, great kings were supposed to be Raj Rishis, how can they do such big, make such big mistakes? We think as them mistakes because we think that how can they do that? They are supposed to be, great personalities that we're reading about in Bhagavatam. They shouldn't do that. But we don't need to follow it as it is, in the sense Bhagavatam, like Mahabharata especially, has teachings that we need to learn from. Not because, okay, Duryodhan did this, so we should also do this. Or Dhritarashtra was like this. Or let's say Pandavas married one wife, so I will also do this. No. Mahabharata is a scripture we should learn from. Krishna has created these characters or these pastimes where we can take lessons from. That is our role as a devotee who is trying to understand the scriptures. So, all these kinds of aparadh, that these are mentioned by Ramanujacharya, and there are 6 kind of offenses, types of offenses that's mentioned in Skanda Puran. Hanti nindati vedveshti vaishnavanan abhinandati krudhyate yatino darharsham darshane patanani shat. One who kills a devotee. One who blasphemes a devotee. Now this blasphemy could be, this is very interesting. We might think that, okay, I'm saying the right thing. I need to tell that guy or that devotee that he's doing wrong. But if you say it in a wrong way, it is still an aparadh. Your point might be right. And logically, our mind says, you're right. Don't worry, this is not an aparadh. You're right. You're doing this for Krishna. But it is so subtle, it's the way you say it. First of all, that commits an aparadh. Secondly, that person has not given you a position to correct them. Your relationship needs to be there with the person who you're trying to give a feedback. Your relationship has to be, okay, or you go to their senior and humbly tell them, not in a way of spreading gossip and telling rumors about that person and spreading with your friends and telling, hey, don't tell anyone, and then that person tells to another 10 people and they say, okay, don't share it further, and that way you have committed such a big offense. So you either have a relationship with that person who trusts you, like if you're a mentor or you're a close friend to that person. And then also there is a way to tell them. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj says, if you have to give a feedback to somebody, it should be like a sandwich. First, glorify them. Then you give your feedback and then glorify them. For example, if somebody, we're all chanting our rounds and somebody who's chanting a little loudly, let's say, and we feel that it's maybe not, it's not complementing to the environment of the temple room, for example. You just don't go and tell them, hey Prabhu, you should not chant like that, you're disturbing all of us, why don't you walk outside and chant? No. That's an aparadh. Even though your intention is that I don't want others to get disturbed or my sadhana to get disturbed. But the way you can say it is, Prabhu, I really admire your intensity of chanting the holy name. It's wonderful. I wish I could chant with that much concentration. See, it should come genuinely also. It should not be that because I am told I have to glorify. It comes with practice. Appreciating devotees comes with practice. So if you think that, otherwise you tolerate. If you have to tolerate that situation. If you cannot handle it in a best behavior, you have to tolerate it. Or you can step out if you feel something is really messing with your sadhana. There are lots of ways to deal with that. But you appreciate them, you glorify them and say, Prabhu, if you don't mind, can I suggest something? And you say that, I think that maybe if we can chant in a manner that can be more conducive, because I feel devotees might be getting a little distracted because we are still not at that level that we can focus only on our chanting. We are somehow getting distracted by things happening around us. So can I humbly request if we can, tone it down a little bit? And we really appreciate your association. You're coming every day for chanting. We really appreciate that. That way, you may have not committed an offense. Because you're not, and you know what is an offense? When you hurt somebody's heart, you ache their heart. You might say this very casually to your spouse and they may not get hurt because that relationship is there. So you need to be careful. You need to assess that you have that relationship with the person and also you're not hurting them. If they take it as an attack, if they get hurt, you're directly offending Krishna's heart. Krishna is getting that pain. And you don't want to do that because it is explained in this purport, it is like a mad elephant who is in a garden who destroys all the fruits and all the flowers. That way, similarly, we have destroyed the garden of our bhakti. The spiritual assets that we have in one sentence or in one thought, we have destroyed that. We don't want to do that. We have by so much mercy that we can attain that sukriti or that spiritual benefit or progress. We don't want to let it go just by that instant gratification that, hey, because when we commit an offense, we think I am greater than that devotee. I am higher. So let's not be teachers to everybody. Let's not think that we are here correcting everybody. Hey, and sometimes, you know, in bhakti, we dovetail it so much that we might say anything we want and then say, oh, I'm sorry, casually. You know, your heart will know if you actually are speaking the truth or you have a clean heart, because His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj said today morning, I was hearing, that if you see faults in a devotee, that is reflecting your own heart, because you have those faults. You have a tendency to see faults in other people, even if they have very little, let's say, one mistake they did. We don't focus on the 99 other great things they're doing, but that one fault, and we say, see, he's fooling others. I found out, see, he has that one fault. We think, hey, you know, you're so great devotee, you're so hiding, you know, I found out that one fault, and we feel so great about it. But you're not there to do that. Krishna, on the other hand, is that personality who sees even one great thing, despite 99,000 other faults, with one great thing that you are doing, and He will elevate you. You want to say something? Okay. Can I just complete it, if you don't mind? Oh, go ahead, if you... Okay. Just like 5 more minutes and then we'll come to you. Okay, then go ahead. Please. Okay. Okay.
We started a little late. So Mataji, please continue.
Okay, I'll just quickly wrap up if you don't mind. So, if we have a clean heart, no matter somebody has so many mistakes they have done, so many offenses they have committed, but we will value that devotee, that person, for that one amazing thing they are doing. That will touch our heart. And somebody may have so many offenses doing around them and they might be just oblivious to it because they're like, they're not focusing on that because their own heart is clean, so they're not seeing faults. I know we are not at that level that we are not seeing faults in everybody. Actually, we are at a level where we are only seeing faults in people around us. So the way to go from that, the transition from seeing faults to only seeing amazing things in devotees and glorifying them, is by actually realizing that we are making judgments only on bodily platform. The judgments are only based on bodily platform that we are making. Can you ever judge us? Can you ridicule a soul? No, because the soul is pure. And here, what King Rahugana did was that he's telling him, what are you doing? He was criticizing Jad Bharat. All the criticism, usually we also have, is on bodily platform for other people. Because we are so attached to our body that we only see faults, and the faults are emerging from bodily platform. As simple as that. Even our fear and anger, the two most prominent emotions that we have that destroys our actions, fear of oh, somebody will notice, fear of losing somebody, fear of being caught in doing something, fear of my relationships going bad, etc., etc. And anger, once they have gone bad, how did I lose that person? How did I lose this? How did I lose everything I had incurred all my life? So there's always fear of losing and the anger of once you have lost it. That's the two emotions we have, right? Bhoga and what is that in Bhagavad Gita we have? Lamentation and hankering. Yes, sorry, thank you. Hankering. First we keep hankering for something. We don't have it, we keep hankering, and that emotion builds up so much. And then we quickly, once we have it, and then we lose it, and then we lament about it. So whole life is just working in these two things. Because we are attached to the body, to the bodily platform. But if we see everybody as soul, our judgments will just go away. How do we see everybody as souls? We are seeing that we have sincere souls sitting around me right now who's trying to connect to Krishna, connect more and more to Krishna, connect deeper to Krishna. They are establishing their relationship with Krishna in more newer and newer ways. Every time we come to Kalachandji, we have some, we want to see something new, right? I mean, new in the sense, we are experiencing new emotions about Kalachandji. We have some situations we are going through, and we come to Kalachandji, and when we talk to him, when we talk to Radha Kalachandji, or we just see them, and if you're a recipient, like if you're open to receiving Krishna's mercy, there will be some new experiences that after every interaction with the deities, with the Vigraha, you will have some new experiences, or realizations is what I want to say. But we have to be open to that. And same thing, just see devotees as mirror of your devotion with Krishna. The way you think about devotees is actually Krishna reciprocating to you. Think like that. Because if how I am dealing with Premamrita right now, anyhow, whatever relationship I have, and if I have some, something, why can't she be more understanding? Or why can't she come to I have invited her for this thing. Why can't she come? Why is she not being, I want to have a relationship with her, friendship with her, and she's not getting close to me. And I'm having some negative judgments about it, or, misconceptions. Just think it that way, that what I want to say is that is reflecting my heart towards Krishna. I'm having judgments towards the devotee, and I need to really understand at that time, okay, I think I need to up my game of devotional service. I need to be more subservient. I need to be more surrendered to Krishna. Because I feel the way I am thinking about somebody is reflecting how I am lacking in my bhakti. So I'll just pause here. I have a lot of things to say, but I think with considering the time, I will just pause and open for questions and answers. Hare Krishna. Thank you for being patient. Sure, Prabhu. Yes, go ahead.
I guess my question was, thank you for such a beautiful class. This is definitely something to meditate on continuously, constantly. But a question arises for me of we also, as a conditioned soul myself, and as somebody, early on the path of bhakti, I need to be careful who I associate with. And even devotees sometimes can not be the best association. So how can I, what's the word? Distinguish and not
discriminate. But distinguish and not judge them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Thank you for that question. Yes, I think Krishna gives us the intelligence to use, and I heard it somewhere, I don't know the speaker, but yes, the same thing, that we should distinguish who to associate with, but not discriminate that why they are not able to reach at a certain level. Is, of course, first empathy that we need to bring in, that everybody is at a different stage, everybody is at a different level, and not that this person is not great, so I will go and associate with somebody else, but I am not able to understand the greatness of this person. I am not able to understand how this person can help me. So I will respectfully associate with people I feel that they are really helping me advance in my spiritual life. But not thinking in a way that we are leaving association because we are greater than that person. Also, it's also our seva, our service, that let us give association to people. Sometimes it's said that if you go in corporate world or something, you cannot take association of everybody because their consciousness may impact, because we are very easily triggered by Maya. So it's not that there is a class level difference, but because I am very weak in my I could be very weak in my consciousness, so let me stay protected. So at those times, like we're doing group distribution, book distribution, or we are going to corporate, like we're working with people around, you have to give association. You feel like this is your seva at that time. If you can't take it, try to give association when you're social, if you have to socialize with them. Like you can't say, okay, I have to go every time, I have to go if they're talking to you. But you can, the least you can do is give them association of, in some indirect way, spreading the message of Krishna. But yes, I think to answer your question, maybe if somebody has something better to say, but I think what I feel is that I'm not able to understand how this person can help me. So let me stay under protection of somebody who can help me. Yeah. Hare Krishna, thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
It was a wonderful class, and I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for exposing me in this class thoroughly. Thank you. For wonderful that Ramanujacharya, 12 offenses that really touched my heart. And the next one you spoke about Skanda Puran, 6 offenses. You just mentioned first 2.
Oh yes,
I would
so
like
sorry
to ask you the rest.
I will just, yeah, I think I keep getting distracted. The first one is one who kills a devotee, the second who blasphemes a devotee, the third who is envious of devotees. Okay, this guy has so many more services, he just came to the dham and they have so many more services. I don't have that, I'm so envious. So envious is worse than jealousy, right? Jealousy is when somebody has something and you don't have it. So that's jealousy. But envy is, how can that person have it? How can this person have gotten so many, he has a beautiful face, he has money, he has beauty, fame, services. So how can, why does he have it and I not have it? So that is envy. Fourth is one who fails to offer obeisances to Vaishnavas upon seeing them. Whenever you see a devotee, you must greet them. I will say you have to greet them, even if it's Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji, or, just nodding your head and smiling. But yeah, say Hare Krishna. What I have seen, I'm sorry, but I've experienced this a lot when sometimes devotees, you say Hare Krishna also and you don't get a response. Or sometimes you're like, oh, I'm so busy, that person will understand. Let me just, walk with my eyes on the ground and ignore that person. That's an offense. You're ignoring Krishna. You're ignoring his devotee, you're ignoring Krishna. It's the biggest offense when you not see a devotee. The next one is even more interesting. One who does not become joyful upon seeing a Vaishnava. Harsha. Your heart is not feeling joy when you see a devotee. In fact, it is so sad. Sometimes we see a devotee like, oh, okay, let me just go away from here. That's an aparad. The emotion you should, not even indifference that, okay, you see. You should feel happy when you see a devotee. Any devotee. Even if that devotee has tried to kill you, that is what they say, that you should feel happy, joyful upon seeing a devotee. And the last one, no, I think this was the last one. Yeah, these are the 6 offenses. And how we can, so somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, I'm so sorry, last thing. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada that how can we escape after we have committed an aparad? How can we come out of it? Prabhupada said, you can't come out of it. Because if I tell you, then you will keep committing aparad because okay, this is the remedy. I will do an aparad and I will go and chant 6 rounds or 16 rounds, whatever. No, he said there is no aparad. There's no remedy. But yes, if you have, because we are at a state we keep committing offense, you need to beg at the lotus feet of that devotee. You really have to humbly. If you ever have time, Radhika Mohan Prabhu's, Radhika Raman Prabhu, right? what is the name of Prabhuji? Radhika Mohan Prabhu, who came recently? Yeah, so I keep forgetting between two, Raman and Mohan. So he has a lecture series and like 3 parts on forgiveness, the art of forgiveness, or how to seek forgiveness and how to forgive. It's a beautiful series. I heard it a long time ago and I will probably now hear it again. It is beautiful. So I would recommend, if you all have time, to read, to hear that series. It's wonderful. Not the heart not feeling joyful upon seeing a devotee. The fifth one was, the fifth one was when you don't greet a devotee. Okay, I'll go through the first one: who kills the devotee, blasphemes, envious, does not pay, offer obeisances. Who becomes angry with the Vaishnava. I think I missed that. I'm so sorry. Who becomes angry with the Vaishnava. Even anger is an aparat. I think we all know that, but we still keep getting angry at devotees. How can you do this if they've been practicing devotional service and we're not realizing we are getting angry? We have been practicing devotional service and I'm getting super angry. So anger is also devotional service. An aparat. And not becoming joyful is the last one.
We don't have time for the comments, so I won't. But one question for everyone. There is a place in Mayapur where it is said any offenses committed, any aparad directly or indirectly committed to devotees are forgiven when you visit that place in Mayapur. Does anyone remember?
Do you know, Prabhuji? I mean, I thought you were asking. Maybe you know the answer.
No, I forgot.
Is it the Jagai and Madai place? Because there's one place where...
No, not really. There is one place where
I don't
all the offenses are vanquished. That's a proclamation by Lord Chaitanya.
Granti Harnisham Maya, Swamiti Matva, Shamsam.
To the deities.
But that is also said today, I heard in a lecture, that very mantra that we beg for forgiveness from the deities, every morning after we wake up and every time we go to bed at night, before that, we should always chant this mantra, because we have, I'll recite it, we commit so many offenses accidentally. And so we pray to Krishna, Krishna, I know I am very fallen, and I beg for forgiveness. Because we have committed, even right now as we speak, I might have committed mentally so many offenses as we're sitting here. So we have to pray to Krishna at all times. Yeah. Aparadha there's a mantra, I think, we can share that on WhatsApp. Yeah.
I have a question. It was interesting in our beginning of our movement, there was a stress on how that Srila Prabhupada's disciples were being offended because of their American bodies, their Western bodies. It's been made, I've been made aware of recently that now some of the Western devotees have a tendency to judge people of the Indian body because they're just Hindus, or they come to our temple and they're not really interested in Bhakti or Krishna. And that this is a real sad state of affairs. However, my question is that sometimes in our heart we understand that Srila Prabhupada's, in his pranam is to free the Western worlds of voidism and impersonalism. So we might have a desire to preach to Westerners. So my question is how do we keep that desire alive without being offensive of seeing that these people aren't worth preaching to, or they're not who, anyway, does this make sense? Is this question?
Yeah, how should we preach to people without thinking that they don't, they're not even trying and they don't deserve?
How can we have our focused preaching without offending the other people that aren't our focus? So I have an interest to preach to Westerners, but then I start to get, the reason why I don't preach to those people is because of this, and I'm judging on the body. I'm judging on these things, and so I'm wondering if you have any comments or thoughts about this attitude.
I heard an interesting thing. Thank you, Prabhu. I heard an interesting thing that yes, initially towards the Westerners there was this a lot of judgment that okay, they are very much attached to the material life. But today I was hearing and somebody said, I forgot whose lecture, but nowadays, because the whole world is westernized. So everybody's acting like an American body, a Western body, because everybody is engaged in their sense gratification. They have phones around them. They have so many ways to gratify their senses. So if we think like that, nobody deserves to be preached, because everybody is so immersed in their not wanting to be close to God. So like that, nobody's eligible. But that is the only reason that makes them eligible, because they don't want it, because they have no desire of getting close to Krishna, or they don't have desire of gaining knowledge for Krishna. That is exactly the eligibility criteria. Somebody who wants Krishna's mercy, Krishna will come and give them mercy. But somebody who doesn't want mercy, Mahaprabhu will come and give mercy to them also. Jagai and Madai did not want it. Mahaprabhu came, Nityanand Prabhu came. Nityanand Prabhu went every day to Jagai and Madai. They had not a single offense they had not committed. The Chitrakoot and they got tired of writing their sinful activities. And Mahaprabhu especially came through Nityan Prabhu, right? Nityan Prabhu acts as a guru over here. And through Guru, Mahaprabhu came. And the reason that we need to have that bhav, because in Kali Yuga, we are worse than Jagai and Madai. So nobody anywhere deserves to be getting that message of Krishna because they think so. But what I'm saying is that is in fact their very qualification to get bhakti, because they don't want it. Imagine somebody is sleeping, we can wake them up. But if somebody who's pretending to sleep, it's very hard to wake them up, because they're pretending. So here, somebody who knows, in India it's very difficult because they know, yes, this is the best. They're like, I don't want it. They're in denial, or I know already enough, so I don't want more. But people who don't know only, they're far from it, it's easier to preach them, in fact, because they're not pretending. I don't know if I'm able to answer, but what I feel is that gives them the only qualification that we are judging them and keeping them distant from Krishna is in fact why we should feel more enthusiastic to preach them. I think
the answer, I'm not sure if you directly, so please correct me, but the answer I was hearing was, yeah, we can have our focus, but if somebody's coming and wanting Krishna consciousness, we should be so happy to share Krishna consciousness. It doesn't matter. These things don't matter, like bodily, or all these aparad type things on the bodily consciousness, or they're lower than me, or this or that. We should just be very happy that people are interested in Krishna consciousness and be able to give as much as we can.
Yeah. Even Nityanand Prabhu went to the crocodiles and opened their mouth and said, chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. That's what he used to do. He used to go to women and tell, I'll marry you, you chant Hare Krishna. And then he used to run away. Of course, we don't have to imitate his actions. But what I'm saying is, he went even to the crocodiles, opened their mouth and said, chant Hare Krishna, and like yapping their mouth. Yeah. So he is not restricting, like he's going to animals also. So we as well might as well go to all kinds of people to preach them. Yes, Mataji.
Sorry, thank you for a wonderful class, and I know we're over time, but I just need to ask this question. So when you were going, we go over the 10 aparads and so many more aparads that we have to, so it almost feels like we can't function, it's like, so it's like my whole brain is full of aparads. And like you said, all of us are, so then how can we, we can chant this mantra, Aparada Sahasrani, and okay, or go to that place, okay. But like, Jad Bharat, he was walking, he wasn't even stepping on the ground thinking, oh, I'm going to hurt ants. And then we do have the example of Hanuman, who in order to do his service, he stepped on the mountain where all the residents of that mountain were feeling the pressure of his feet because, were shaking. So he was causing discomfort to people or the residents of that mountain because he was so focused on his service. So, not that, but it's like, okay, if we shift our focus from, oh my gosh, I'm hurting this person, to, okay, how best can I serve? Switch our focus to service rather than what am I doing wrong. course, but is that a way out?
Yeah, I think the only way out is how Jad Bharat and Hanuman, the examples you gave, was they were very humble. They were very humble. When Jad Bharat was criticized here, blasphemed, what he said, all you're saying is true because my body, you're saying all of that for my material body. And yes, it is dumb, it is slow, etc., etc. But then he gave the message of soul, that I am a spirit soul. And you can decide if I'm your master or, I'm your servant. You can treat me how you want. But that was the humility, was the real ornament. So it is said that our real ornament is Vaishnav etiquettes. And even still, by being so mindful, if you're committing offense, it's okay. That's when we chant the mantra, but not that I go and may commit an offense and tonight I can go and chant Aparahata Sahasrani. No, but we can be humble at all times. That yes, this humility, I think all questions are answered based on this Trinadapi Sunichena. We have to be humble, genuinely humble. Krishna, I am trying. And I'm sorry, I know I still have committed so many offenses, but please help me. Krishna, please guide me. And everybody is a better devotee than me. That should be our mood. If we have that mood, we will never criticize any devotee. We will never judge any devotee based on their body, based on their actions, based on anything. So what is humility? It is putting yourself always in a position of a servant. I am a servant of Krishna. I am a servant of Krishna's servant, and servant. I am a servant of Krishna's servants. That should be our mood. And then going to any dham or any reciting any mantras, then you're actually practicing that mantra. You don't have to wait and go and chant that. You're practicing that mantra when you are dealing with like that with devotees in a mood of humility. That is your real ornament. So yeah, I think we should one day have a class on Vaishnav Sadachar etiquettes. That's really important. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnav Bhaktivrind ki jai. Sorry for wrapping it up so late. Krishna. I still have so many things to